down to Temple Island we go.
Attention! Go!
And in the Remenham, Ruderverein Münster of Germany up against Oxford University Boat Club in the Coxed Eights. Powerfully driving away off the pontoon. Keep an eye on Oxford University, who have gone very central here. Wanted to stay a bit more right in the shadow of Temple Island. They came central. They've corrected themselves again. Ruderverein Münster holding their line on the Berkshire side of the course, on the left-hand side of your picture. There they are. Ruderverein Münster steering a better course away, but it is Oxford who have got a very slender lead. This could be a terrific race. A change in the commentary box. Andy Vernon has slipped off to enjoy the sunshine, and Adam Freeman-Pask alongside me. Adam, good morning to you.
Morning, Tim. Hello. Yeah, I was just admiring how aggressively that stroke woman in the Oxford boat was going off there. She really was giving them a good taste of the pace they're going to set, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty ferocious. Already, they're reading the facial expressions. Oxford University look gritty and determined, and have a slender lead against Ruderverein Münster on the far side of the course. Saw the close-up there on Anastasia Sheety from Oxford University Women's Boat Club.
That's right, Oxford University Women, coached by Christine Wilson, and also backed up by Natasha Townsend as well, who was on the GB team for quite a while.
In the name of Natasha Page back in those days.
Of course.
Townsend, Lee Page, now working at Oxford University with this 8. Married to Sam Townsend in the GB men's quad. So they've got a good start, and Oxford will be pleased with this. The Remenham Challenge Cup. What a shot that is.
That's great, isn't it? That's a good position for that 8 to be in. With the Germans, just a length behind. This is quite a strong German boat as well, potentially looking at an under-23 formation, potentially.
Looking very relaxed there. Back down towards Temple Island, so on the left-hand side of the shot there, it's Oxford University. They've got a couple of lengths lead over the Germans. Cox, Miriam Rembold will be trying to urge the Germans to stay in contention. Not completely out of it, but they would need something pretty dramatic to happen to the Oxford boat. And Jill Carlson now, the Cox of the Oxford boat, will just be calming the nerves, getting them into the race rhythm.
That's right. It looks like they've really relaxed in that Oxford boat. Before, there was, they were very aggressive off the blocks, but now they've sort of found quite a relaxed, loping rhythm, and you can see the boat just sort of hopping away. It's almost gathering pace now as they've relaxed into it, really.
You can kill the race early, can't you, if you're as feisty in your approach as Oxford were there. You could see it written all over their faces right past Temple Island, couldn't you? That the steering wasn't the best, but nonetheless, they put so much energy into that first 200 or 300 metre push. They more or less finished off Ruderverein that early on, didn't they? Look at that extension of the lengths advantage there.
Gosh, yeah, it was like watching a dragster trying to take off, wasn't it? There was so much power and they couldn't quite get it all connected, but now they're definitely loose enough and it's just hooking up beautifully. Yeah, the Germans are really going to have to sort of let the monkeys out or go bananas to try and pull back this lead, I think.
The umpire did have a little shout towards the Oxford boat there to keep them on the buck side of the course. I think they were just wobbling out to the centre of the course and sending the puddles of dirty water back towards the Germans, which is all in the tactics. So when you've got that much of an advantage, you're allowed to get away with more.
Yeah, you can see that now with these aerial shots, can't you? Those puddles are just those little sort of round ripples of water are just like hitting the stroke side, the bow side blades of the German 8, which is going to make it messy and harder for them to row.
So in front of the grandstand, past Upper Thames Rowing Club there on the left-hand side. Get busier on that towpath as the day goes on. Both sides of the course with the big white marquees out there.
Yeah, there's a few empty picnic benches at the moment, but I'm sure they'll be snapped up by lunchtime.
Yeah, and by this evening, lots of tired and emotional spectators on the benches, on the grass, hopefully not in the water.
It's interesting that Miriam Rembold, the Cox of the German crew, she's a keen sculler herself, which I think is always a good quality to have in a Cox when they do a bit of rowing themselves, so they really understand the feeling of the blade in the water and the amount of effort is required to drive the boat. All too often you can have a cox that sort of will quite happily crack the whip and won't really appreciate the effort and skill required sometimes.
This isn't official, but we reckon this could be pretty close to the German under-23-8 this year. They haven't officially declared it as such, the Ruderverein Münster German 8, which is trailing the Oxford 8 at this stage. But we don't think there'll be too much tinkering to that 8 for the Worlds. The Oxford University Women's Boat Club is a composite with Radcliffe crew and Harvard University, U.S.A. as well. Dark blue, black and white there. You can see Oxford University. Pretty composed. Looking like they've got this race under control.
This is a similar crew to the Oxford crew that won the Oxford Cambridge boat race this year as well, isn't it? So they're a classy crew.
Yeah, 7 of the crew who won the Oxford Cambridge boat race in there, and the Elite 8s event at Henley Women's Regatta as well. Jill Carson, the cox, is an addition, and Katie Davidson, who was in the Oxford Reserve boat, has stepped up. She's in 4. So it's a classy boat, as you say, Adam. Full of pedigree, full of form, and we would expect them to progress into the weekend. It would have been some story had they not, but they safely got past Ruderverein Münster. I think we can safely say at this stage of the race they will be heading into Saturday.
It looks very much that way. Relax, just sort of taking it past the crowds and stewards.
They can enjoy this now. Lots of local Oxford University supporters down the river, only 15 miles south of Oxford, where we sit now at Henley. Over the line they come. Good outing for them. Success as anticipated for Oxford University Women's Boat Club and Radcliffe crew and Harvard University as well in the Remenham Challenge Cup, beating the Germans Ruderverein Münster. Had it from start to finish in the bag and converted that into a victory.